to this edition of Professional Wrestling Central Illinois This Week. Today, we're in the studios of Pinfall Wrestling Association inside the Pinfall Wrestling Academy, and joining me, Antoine Archie to my right, and Billy Alexander to my further right. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Good. Glad to be here.
PWA has had quite a year. We're in the Pinfall Wrestling Academy for the final episode of the MBS TV. We did a brief walkthrough of the building so home viewers can see what this place looks like, and saw the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You had the mayor out here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
The mayor, the city council, the newspaper.
Yeah.
Man, we had the whole works, man.
It was a big deal here for this town.
how's it been going so far with the academy?
Well, I mean, the academy's doing what we do each and every single week. I mean, the trainees are here. The trainees are going through everything they want. We've had some people come in and talk to us, you know, negotiating a little bit here and there with contracts and stuff, and trying to figure out exactly what it is that they want to do inside of Pinfall Academy. You know, we don't just train wrestlers. We train managers and valets and referees, and I mean, we even do a little bit of other stuff, you know, behind the scenes that we've let some people in on. So, I mean, the Pinfall Academy is on a new journey here in Auburn, Illinois. We had the mayor that's standing 100% behind us, and not to say too much, but she did come to me last week. She talked to me over the phone last week over some things here for Auburn, Illinois. That's about as far as I could go there. But the Pinfall Academy itself is making a statement. People here in Auburn, Illinois are talking. People that come by the building, or you go to a place here in Auburn and they see our shirts, or they see us, they're like, hey, aren't you those wrestler guys over on the square and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah. You know, so we give them a upfront view when they come here to see what it is. Or you have our neighbors next door to us that hear all the noises that go on over here, and they're like, man, what in the hell's going on over there? And they come and see it, and they're blown away because they haven't seen anything like that.
And the hours of the training center, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
7 to 10, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, each and every single week. Trainers Zero Hype Guy Smith, Michael Shard, and Bradley Stevens III are in here stomping the trainees left and right and teaching them the way of stuff that some people only dream about. Mm-hmm. And these people come in here and they do exactly what they wanted, and they're still doing it to this day. I mean, a few of them just graduated. You saw a debut of a few of them this past week, a debut a few weeks ago of a few. I mean, they're here. And Pinfall Academy is where the new crop begins. And we're going to prove that to every single person out there.
The first crop, we had Roscoe to come back at Bradley Stevens, Brent Dunn, the second group of graduates, Ryan Matthews. We just had the very first match for Jake Lander. Harley is not made her wrestling debut yet. She's been valeting. I think there's a couple of others waiting in the wings. I get the comeback of a person, I won't mention who he used to go by, but Ian McManus made a comeback. He used to wrestle many years ago, but didn't, we'll say his teachers back then probably weren't the best. So he, once this academy opened, he got back into wrestling training, relearned everything.
And that's the thing. It's not just an opportunity for new people off the streets. It's an opportunity for people who want to get back into the business, who's been in it, like Ian McManus or anybody else. We have the training facility for anybody, not just the brand new people off the streets. There's two things that this town is talking about in Auburn, and that's Auburn football and PWA.
Yep.
Because we're big here. I mean, like Billy said, people are walking down the street seeing us open, and they're wondering, what is this? We even had the Auburn police here checking things out.
Yeah.
And he was not here for any tickets. He was really interested in seeing what was here going on in this facility. So it's great.
Well, hopefully PWA can actually do an event here in this town in the future in 2016.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Well, PWA in 2015. 2014, I think the early part of the year, you were doing attendance at the JC Activity Center. It was like, I don't know, averaging 50. It was not great numbers. Towards the end of the year, there had been an attendance spike and announced going to Lanphier High School. Attendance spiked even more, gotten to, I don't know what the exact number was, but the record high was set in the month of May for attendance. In the summer months, you had the baseball post-game show. I think, how many was that? 550 were there?
It was quite a few people.
Yeah.
The State Fair event, there was like 750 to 1,000 people in the crowd.
Yep.
In the matches in between the redneck boat races and kind of a quasi-demolition
That was a good
derby.
time. Honestly, I like that.
It was a good time.
Fall rolls around, you've established a 3-city circuit. Maybe in 2016 it'll be a 4th city. However, latter part of the year, numbers seem to be going in the wrong direction, or the attendance wasn't like it was in the first half of 2015. Although it's not just the PWA problem, even Dreamwave has seen their numbers drop quite a bit. Granted, there's been a lot of hate towards me when PWA won this Central Illinois Promotion of the Year, and critics might be using this as ammo to say that decision was discreditable. Where do you see the root of the issue to be with the fall season? Complacency after the two high-profile events in the summer, folks not convinced to come again after what they saw at the fair and the game, the fair and the festival, or maybe PWA was trying to expand and grow too fast.
We're not growing too fast. We're not expanding too fast. We are doing exactly what we wanted to do. We are opening a door that leads to one avenue. We've opened a second door that leads to a second avenue. We've opened a third door for the third avenue. And we've come full circle, and we have one last door to open. And when that last door opens, you're going to see exactly a bigger reason why you and your other counterparts decided to name Penn Fall Wrestling Association the promotion of the year.
For Central Illinois.
You had a few events where we had a astronomical number, but it wasn't. It was more of an event with everything combined. Mm-hmm. Now you want to relate and ask me the question of slight dwindle of a number for the last few here or the few there. You got to realize something. We're running in a high school that has basketball that's starting. You have football that's finishing up. You've got, I think they even do volleyball around this time or something. So I mean,
you even ran into the Charlie Daniels band.
Yeah, so we have the fall, and we know what we're looking into. We know what we're doing, but we know what works. We know what we can put in front of a fan to make that fan want to come and see it, and that's what we're doing. We got the school. You debut a women's division. We're doing this certain thing. We're doing this certain thing. When it comes right down to it, I don't care where you are, whether you're north, whether you're south, you're east, you're west, or you're right outside and right around the corner from me. I'm still putting more people in the seats in front of us than other people are the same time, the same show, the same date, the same time, and everywhere else. Whether they're right outside, or they're 30 minutes away, or they're an hour and a half away, or they're 2 or 3 hours away, it doesn't matter to me. PWA is doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and we're going to continue to keep doing it.
What path should PWA take to get back to that position? Is there an easy answer to that? I don't think it's an easy answer to get there, but what do you see the path being?
Well, you look at it from years ago when pro wrestling was way up here, and then it slowly came here, and it slowly came down here, but then it went back here, and it slowly came all the way back down to ground level. There's always that time where professional wrestling has that slight little plateau for a while, and there's that one thing, and it flipping explodes like an A-bomb. That one thing for Springfield is coming very soon, and it's going to explode like an A-bomb here. We're going to be back to where we are. We're going to go even bigger and even bigger and even bigger.
I'm going to read you a statement another promotion has made in arguing why wrestling fans should go to their events. If you want award-worthy banquet style, restaurant quality, independent professional wrestling, you don't sell for 40 milers, amateurs, academy graduates paying for their spot or promotions, dragging actual tradition through the mud. When I read that, I felt it was way over the top, but how do you see it? Is that a fair comment to make, or just they're catering to a certain type of wrestling fan, which there may not be that many of in this area? Sorry for the loaded question.
Let me make one bold statement in reply. We are still here, working on our 6th year. We're not sitting on the sidelines without a company and not having anywhere to go because we kept force feeding that certain type of wrestling fan. I'm not going to come out here each and every single week and force feed you this person and force feed you that person and force feed you that person, and then I got nothing to show for it in my back pocket. That's why we're still here, because we give you what that wrestling fans want to see, not the wrestling fan. So they could talk about their 40 milers, and they could talk about their ones that only go so far, and they can only talk about their ones that just go to this one or that one. That's fine. Go ahead. Keep spending your money, because you'll be on the sidelines along with another company that went out of business. We're still here because we put exactly what you fans want to see out there. Not what I want to see.
Use the mantra, we don't bring in stars, we make stars. It's not a mantra, it's a slogan. We don't bring in stars, we make stars. The rival promotion brings in people who they see as indie stars from all over the country, perceived most likely to be signed by a national promotion tomorrow. Apart from their Firehouse event, which I haven't seen them have the same successes and effectiveness like a Dreamwave has had to sustain it, and I don't know how they're covering their booking costs. But what does the majority of the local wrestling fan audience in Central Illinois actually prefer? Homegrown talent or nationally touring indie talent?
Well, I've had a lot of people come up to me personally and tell me, hey, that show was awesome. You know, I went to another promotion, even the big ones, and they say, you know, they didn't enjoy it. But they come to an indie fed like us, where they see wrestlers that they're not going to be able to see, and they do enjoy it. You know, they're not always looking for the big names. And that's the thing that differs us from a lot of the promotions around here. That, you know, we are building within. You know, we're bringing new faces that you're not going to see anywhere else but here. And that's the thing. And, you know, like I said, a lot of people, you know, the big stars are nice every once in a while, but, you know, sometimes they don't want to see that. They want to see, you know, new coming stars. And that's
right.
The thing with us, too, is, you know, not everybody's going to be here forever, so you have to keep recruiting. You have to keep bringing in new people, new faces. And who's to say one of our future wrestlers, trainees that we have now, won't be one of those big stars?
Right. Do certain style wrestling shows success depends solely on what area they're run in? Like, that is the type of show that can only work in an urban top 100 media market, while this type of show over here works best in rural America? Another loaded question.
every federation is different.
Yeah.
You go all the way up north and you watch one federation up there, and I guess the easiest way I can say it is this federation up here sees itself in the spotlight and can't get away from it. Then you come down a little farther, and this federation cares about not only the homegrown and local, but it also cares about its fans. It also cares about family. It cares about the community. Then you go a little over this way, and you get to see a promotion that upstarted, that I don't even know what to say, honestly. I can't.
Well, rural America it's probably going to be homegrown talent, and the locals are going to relate to them more than somebody who's traveling the country. Now, in the big metropolitan area, top 100 media markets, the big names go through there, and because the wrestling fan base is that diverse, then there's the population's that great that they're going to have a different crowd practically every month, because yes, not everybody's going to attend every show every month.
Right.
But there's enough variety. Different fans come in, their numbers stay up.
You have your certain fans all around. We ourselves don't have to go out here and have our guys go out there and bleed all over the place and beat the hell out of each other with chairs and light bulbs and take the paddings off the ring and smash people through wood and bust tables left and right.
Stuff.
You know, we don't have to do that, because we go out there and we put on a show and we still see those same people every show.
And some.
And then more, and then more, and more. But then you go to those certain federations, and every match is a gimmick match, or every match has somebody bleeding all over themselves, or being beaten with a chair, or destroying this in the venue, or destroying that in the venue. And those fans there are the fans that will never understand the fact of a classic wrestling match, because they're still stuck in the past.
Telling the story, or playing the wrestling in the ring, tell the story, not like using a bunch of weapons.
Right.
I mean, kind of like a certain promotion that used to run in Peoria. All right, going back to the 40 miles tag, I've advocated that local talent get themselves onto shows in the St. Louis area, but not too many of them have. It's far more likely to see a St. Louis wrestler in Springfield, Decatur, Peoria than it is a Springfield, Decatur, Peoria wrestler in St. Louis. The ones that do, the majority of them have physically moved to wherever the epicenter of the action is, but what's been the biggest obstacle to getting area talent booked in shows in that medium market?
I think that's going to depend on the wrestler themselves. That's not necessarily going to be directed towards the company they work for. I think that's really the wrestler themselves.
I could say that one of the excuses has been traveling costs has been exceeding the whatever payday they get. Although that's becoming less of an excuse now, because gas prices finally fallen under the $2 mark after several years.
A lot of it too is, they have a lot of bookings too. I mean, there's a promotion every single weekend. I mean, we have competition, within a month. Ourselves are doing possibly 2 shows a month. There's other feds doing, a show here, a show there. So, I mean, that brings in, an issue is bookings,
For promoter awareness, as promoters down there just don't know, just not sending scouts out to area shows to see what's being produced, and thus they don't know anything. They stick with their clique, I guess.
Well, a lot of them look at it too is that regardless if they're strictly right here and don't really stray out too far, they're comfortable. They know they're here at home. They know they don't have nothing to worry about here. They know regardless they're going to put on a hell of a show, regardless of who it is or where it is, what town, what fans, what it is. I mean, we've got Springfield, Jacksonville, Beardstown fans. We've got them all over the place, and they all love what they see. I mean, I've noticed the last few shows that Beardstown fans are traveling to Jacksonville. Beardstown fans are driving to Springfield. That means we're doing our job.
And that's what I want to see. Fans to travel to.
I'm 45 minutes away and I know there's a wrestling show going on. I'm going to go watch it because I watched them once. Then I watched them a second time. And now I'm hooked because we put on a damn good show.
Yeah.
Now recently, you appeared, as I did too, a program called Pro Wrestling Roundtable Slam that's hosted by Sean David, Stephen Kane, and Katie Mason. You stated on that podcast that your goal was for PWA to run an event at the Prairie Capital Convention Center in How many years? 5 years? 10 years?
What I stated on that podcast, and I'll state it again, is that they asked me what I wanted to see PWA do in the future and what my goal was for it. My goal for Pinfall Wrestling Association is to make sure that we keep growing like we are, and at the point when it comes time for Grand Wrestling Spectacle 10, that we're going to be right downtown at the Civic Center, putting people out in them seats to watch the Grand Wrestling Spectacle 10 at the Civic Center in Springfield, Illinois. That's my goal. Yeah, to some people out there, they're probably laughing already because they're hearing me say this, and they're snickering behind my back because they're hearing it say it. Point of it is, if you have a dream, chase it. You'll eventually achieve it. If you don't get off of your rear end to chase that dream, you'll never achieve it. So you can sit out there and you can talk all you want and say what you want. If you don't get off your butt and chase the dreams that you're sitting there saying right now is, oh, I can be a wrestler, or I can go do this, and I can go do that. Bull crap. Get off your butts, chase your dream, and make sure you achieve it. One way or another, you will eventually achieve that goal. Whether it's that small piece of that goal and that dream, or it's astronomical in size, you'll do it. And that is our goal for PWA. That's my goal for PWA. And I'm going to do everything I possibly can. It's like I stated when I was on there with Sean, and you were in the background hearing me, and everybody else that was on that podcast. Pinfall Wrestling Association will run Grand Wrestling Spectacle 10 out of the Civic Center one way or another. That is my goal for PWA.
All right. PWA Tag Division, getting back to PWA, you got a serious predicament with the tag division right now. The tag division at the moment has really only 2 active teams in it, the Champions and the Money Making Jam Boys. What are your future plans? Is it like bringing to fill the void? Will it take bringing in teams from the area, or constructing teams that's on the roster now that may have not been tagging, but put them together and make them a regular tag team?
Well, I mean, if you look at our last show in Jacksonville, you were there, you seen 4 guys who were put together for the first time. And so a lot of it, far as the guys we have in the locker room, is kind of a opinion if they want to go ahead and team up with another person. And, try to see if can make something out of that tag team. We have the new rookies coming in. There's possibility, 2 of the rookies may want to team up to see what can happen. As far as bringing in other teams, I mean, it has been a while since we've done that, but it's not out of the question. It could happen. I mean,
there's a lot of tag teams in Central Illinois, strong teams.
There is a lot of tag teams. And so, we have brought in tag teams from the past, so it is a possibility, that it could happen. So, some big things are coming up for next year, I'm pretty sure. So, just hold tight.
All right.
Hold tight for that tag team division.
Singles competition, and this has kind of developed over the year. Contenders for the heavyweight title. Those with a winning record, I can count on one hand. Benz, Ely, Derek Moss, Casey Jackson, Hatta on the active roster. Blake Velkus no longer appearing with PWA right now. Spencer Powers traded in the boots for commissioner duties. Tom Arson looks like he has hung up the boots as well. Further down, wrestlers are like at the 500 mark or less. Unless Benz dethrones Guy Smith this weekend, and this episode will air after that show takes place, but I don't see anybody else taking Guy Smith's title if Benz doesn't do it. And you say?
I've got a prediction that you'll see a new PWA heavyweight champion. I predict that Benz will dethrone the Zero Hype Guy Smith. He'll finally close the door to all this hype. That's just a prediction. That's what I'm saying. It's a solid deal on paper. It's a solid deal in the locker room. It's a solid deal in the ring. No matter where it is or when it happens, these 2 bulls are going to butt heads, and somebody is going to fall.
In the adverse, if Benz wins the title, challengers, I mean, who do you see Benz being having to face first right after winning the title?
Well, you'll have his rematch, of course. Guy Smith's not going to step back. He's going to demand that rematch right then and there. He's going to go to Commissioner Powers, and he's going to demand his title rematch, and it's going to happen. It's Guy Smith. He gets what he wants every single time he steps in there. You've seen it.
But will Spencer Parrish be too eager to give him a rematch because they had been bitter rivals for so daggum long?
Commissioner Powers said that he has what's best for PWA in mind.
Here's the issue. Besides the Commissioner Powers, Guy Smith, Commissioner Powers may, have something there. Besides that, you got to realize Benz has not been in singles action for a long time.
That's right.
Guy Smith has been in singles action wrestling every man that we have for the last year. You got to look at it here. The stamina, who's going to belong to? It's going to belong to Guy Smith. Ben's going to be looking for that partner that he doesn't have anymore. He was just in a 6-man tag, this past weekend. He's not been used to singles competition.
But he's gotten victories over Phage. He's gotten a victory over Bradley Stevens.
Okay.
I mean, he's been a singles champion a number of times.
How long ago?
Well, a few years ago, but...
And Guy Smith has been doing this month after month, twice a month, some months, month after month, all year long.
Benz is just going to have to step up.
I got to go with Guy Smith.
And I'm still staying with my prediction.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying I got to go with Guy Smith.
Now, the most competitive title is the regional title, Derek Moss. He's one of the few with winning record. There's a lot of credible challengers. He has far more credible challengers. But then again, a lot of these guys have losing records.
See, the point of it is it doesn't matter if the person's been out here and he's wrestled 27 times in a row and he's lost all 27 matches or not. It's just like when you go out and to bat in a baseball game. You can go 0-27, and then that one time you hit that home run. It doesn't matter. The guy could be 0-27 and go out there and that one split second and beat that champion. So it doesn't matter if he has a winning record or not. I mean, it could be one of the rookies, for crying out loud. One of the rookies get their very first title shot at Derek Moss, and just by luck.
The 1-2-3 Kid scored that pinfall over Razor Ramon that jump-started his WWE career.
Yeah, and look where he's at now.
Too, it's about who
Well,
wants
he
it.
had quite a successful career. I mean,
It's about who
doesn't
wants it
matter
in the
what
locker
happens
room. There's a
after.
lot of guys that should be thirsty for the regional champion, for the tag team champion, for the heavyweight championship. So it's who's going to step up to the plate, They have that problem in the pros, Who's going to be the next heavyweight champion? Who's going to, take that challenge on ever since Rollins has been injured? Well, same question in our locker room. Who's going to step up? Who's going to prove to the fans, to everybody else, that they're ready?
well, they're answering that question with the tournament.
2016, a new revolution will begin in PWA.
And I can't wait to see it. Billy Alexander, I want to thank you for
Thank you, Crime
talking
Fighter.
with me tonight.
Yep.
Antoine, Archie, thank you.
Thank you.
This has been PWCI Central Illinois. Thank you for tuning in this week for this special roundtable edition. We'll see you next time.